as an organization, site-specific to the hospital, and the department and the patient population. Connect with the nurses that are already there or the educator. Be enthusiastic and engaged about your job search. Do not be a pest. And I say that because you are doing yourself a great disservice. If you have reached out to somebody like myself or Linda or Andrea in one of our departments, and you've made contact with us by telephone or by email, we haven't forgotten about you. It's a busy place, we have a lot of people. So there are circumstances where people will repeatedly call. We do have call display on our telephones. So when that number is coming up 3 or 4 times in a half hour and I'm trying to write a memo or get an email out to somebody, that concerns me, because now I'm wondering, if you're this high maintenance and you haven't even come in for an interview, what are you going to be like as an employee? So just keep that in mind. I know it's frustrating and I know everybody just wants that job, but keep that in mind. The other thing, network. Really happy to be here and get this started for you. But continue doing volunteer opportunities in the community. Continue to go to workshops or seminars that are offered by the RNAO or some of the other professional development organizations that are out there for nurses. Most of them, and I'm sure probably all of them, will welcome nursing students. If you're being interviewed, remember that the only department that you want to work in is the department that you are interviewing with. And I say that because the number of people that have come back to me and said, I interviewed and I thought everything went really well, and what happened? Well, if you're interviewing for multi-organ transplant and the nurse manager says, you know, where do you want to start your career? And you say, I just really want a job anywhere. Or, well, I'd really like to be in peds, but this was available. Yeah, not working for you, and you're not going to get a call back. So keep that in mind. Be enthusiastic about the position that you are at the table for, being considered for. And clinical experience is key. I know everybody would like a permanent full-time job right out of the gates, but that part-time or casual that will give you clinical experience to build your CV and help you get into those full-time positions as they become available are really important. I would say that right now this year, as far as HFO-funded positions for new grads, probably about 65 to 70, somewhere in there, tops. But the number of part-times and casuals that we've brought in probably mirror that, about same, about the same. And temporary.
Mat leaves and stuff.
Yeah.
If you take a mat leave, you're not going to go anywhere afterwards, most likely.
Because it's a year.
Yeah. So that's the great thing. It helps you build on that. So just keep that in mind. Other things I just wanted to highlight for you, important dates, contacts, and other things. December 1st through the 3rd. NTF is in town for the first time that they've come this far east. Anybody know what NTF stands for? Heard of the organization? Nursing the Future. And WIN is the Workplace Integration of New Nurses. So NTF was founded and based out of Saskatchewan. They are now holding their annual conference here in Toronto for the first time. Student registration is, I think, $50 for the day. And it is a phenomenal opportunity because the conference brings together not only new graduate nurses, experienced nurses, nurse managers, nurse educators, patient care coordinators, leadership. Students are also incredibly welcome. There are specific workshops that are geared towards the new nurses, and it's going to be at the Intercontinental, downtown Toronto. So if you'd like any more information on that, the website is win-ntf.com. Registration is still open. Would love to see you there. Twitter, we talked about that. Yeah, and then also just wanted to highlight the Amazing Race. Amazing Race, we're looking forward to it in June. Again, a great networking opportunity. We do set up a pool for individuals that maybe don't have a whole team put together, but you could certainly link up with departments at UHN and join in with some of the nurses and some of the staff on the units and race through the downtown core. It's just a fun event that helps with team building and further developing those relationships across the board.
Is on foot on a bike on rollerblades?
It is literally living out your television fantasy in downtown. You get a Metro Pass for the day. Last year we had it on a Saturday, and there were some people that took taxi cabs and things, which on a Saturday it's pretty easy to get through the downtown core. This time it's on a Friday, so it'll be interesting. Taxi won't necessarily be the most advantageous route. So it's whatever gets you from point A to point B, assuming that you've selected the correct place that point B is, right? So we've partnered with Amazing Race organization and company that's based out of Montreal to create the course. They can tell you last year it was a lot of fun. People really, really enjoyed it, so we're really hoping to boost those numbers in 2011. Also brought some nursing reports for you, the do's and don'ts, along with some of the important contact information and dates for when NTF are on the blue sheet. If we run short, don't worry, I'd be happy to either post them on Facebook or also just email me, and I'd be happy to send those off to you. Anybody have any questions about HFO? I also wanted to just touch on that. Does everybody's registered on HFO that's getting ready to finish up, or no?
No.
Does HFO come in and talk to you guys?
No.
No.
Yes, they do, actually. They do in
They
the
do?
last class, okay? The
Oh.
last semester.
Excellent. So, let me just give you one word of advice on the HFO, because the registration form isn't always the most clear. It's going to ask you for your completion date. The completion date on the registration form is when your grades are submitted to the College of Nurses of Ontario. It's not the last day that you're in class. It's not your last exam date. It's not the date that you actually have your graduation. It's the date that the school issues the grades to the CNO, and that's when your 6-month timer begins. So just a little caveat there. I have shared the information with them that they might want to update their form on the website, but I don't know that they've actually had that taken care of yet. So, any other questions?
Just to clarify, the HFO we're talking about is like the nursing graduate guarantee? Is this like?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Health Force Ontario. Health Force Ontario Jobs is the website where they ask new graduate nurses to register.
.ca.com.
And put in all of their information. So for things like that Andrea talked about, the NRT position, the ENWA position, those absolutely HFO is a requirement for the role. The HFO job board, also kind of important to note, UHN doesn't necessarily use it as a job board per se. Our positions that are available are going to be posted on our internal and external job boards. And our HFO postings that become active are actually people that have already been hired and that we're putting through the process. So just keeping that in mind. I know that HFO is, they do have new grad positions posted out there, but I would encourage you to always go to the individual hospital job board sites to see what they have posted on their job boards versus always relying on HFO jobs.
And don't forget, there are many hospitals downtown. There is Mount Sinai, the Hospital for Children's, Women's College, St. Mike's, Sunnybrook,
Toronto Rehab.
and the Toronto Rehab, I was just going to say, right? And the Toronto Rehab actually is building a new site on University, I'm not sure when it's going to be. Yeah, so all of those, right? So get your experiences where you can, and then, you know, you can follow that up, right? Later on, so.
Something someone asked me about that I forgot to come back to was the careers website at UHN. So we're www.uhn.on.
That's
No,
it.
That's an email, isn't it?
Yeah.
.ca, sorry. There's a whole career section. Everything that is open to external candidates is posted there. you can set up a career alert, and this will make your life so much easier. You set up this career alert, you say, anything that gets posted as a registered nurse. We post on Thursdays, so if you decide, I don't want to do this, I want to check every week and make sure that nothing's come up, every Thursday we post. So if you're going to go on some day, go on Thursday night, Friday morning. But you can set up a career alert, so every time you post something for a registered nurse, it will email you and let you know, and that avoids you having to go back every single Thursday and check, or every single day if you're really adamant that maybe something will get posted in between, which it won't. But, so you can do that as well. And even if you want to be more specific, I only want to know about nursing opportunities in ortho. You can do that as well. Any questions about applying online? Or our website, or where to go, or what to do? Yeah.
I guess I'm just wondering when's a reasonable time if we're going to be done in August for us to be like applying for positions, like how long the process is, if we could start submitting things in July, if that's too early because we're not done yet, or kind of.
I think it kind of depends on what the landscape looks like at that time. Like if we have another surge where we're going to have a greater volume of vacancies, then I can see applying earlier. But
I wouldn't do before July.
Yeah.
And I think it's really key, keep in contact with your nurse manager. Say your final consolidation's on transplant or ortho, and you really enjoy your placement, you're having a good time, you like working with the senior population, you enjoy everything about the unit, you really like Toronto Western Hospital, everything about it, talk to Olga. Put your name in there, make sure you keep in contact, and say you leave and I don't have anything, but keep checking and maybe send Olga an email every
Because
once in a
we
while.
do send your names to, who do we send to? We do send your names to HR, because we're usually asked, would you recommend the student to be hired at UHN? So guys, make an impression.
You
You want to be there, make an impression. And I'll tell
Especially
you,
the final.
you know, when we talked about nurses eating their young, honestly, I have to tell you that I'm one of the nurse managers who do not, and you will attest to that, I'm one of the managers who do not put up with this nonsense, you know. Years ago, that was years ago. We're in a different era in our lives as nurses. We need to have respect for each other, etc. So when you come to my unit, I don't want you to be writing the notes back to UHN to say, I don't know why Olga is using all these red Cardexes. It doesn't make sense. They seem so disorganized. I'll tell you, you can kiss getting a job on my unit goodbye. Because honestly, you don't know what we're doing on our unit until you're actually there and working and seeing what we're doing with these little red Cardexes, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
I've been to your office,
Right? And my office is always open, right?
It's open, and I always wanted to hear and you explain things to me that you're not able to discuss in confidence. So interesting.
Yeah. So guys, I usually say when you come to my unit, you're part of that unit. Make yourself part of that unit, right? And these are things we're looking for: how well you fit in, how well you adjust to situations. Rather than coming to tackle on the nurses, talk to the nurses about things that you see that they're doing that doesn't quite jive with what you're being taught, right? So they can help you to understand why they're doing things a certain way. But yeah.
And back to what Belta had mentioned before, in no way, shape, or form should you either stalk us or the nurse manager. Do not email Olga every single day for the next 4 months and tell her you want a job in her unit. She knows. Make sure you talk to her. Make sure she knows who you are. Same thing with your preceptors.
Yes,
Make sure work your butt off that last your final consolidation. Make them know that you are on time.
That's right.
You put in a great effort. You know what you're doing. You work as a team. They're not looking for people that work on their own. They're working for team members.
And you're learning, you know what, no one expects you to know everything. Your learning starts once you've graduated and once you're on the unit. No one expects you to be an expert. You're not an expert until you've done 40 years. I'm joking. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Could you please give a I just want to say a a huge thank you on behalf of all the young and investing office students here. And we have some bits items we would love to give out of these speakers.